Hi, I'm Daniel Romero, and I'm the Vice President of Growth and Marketing at Levin Science. And today we're going to go through a couple of icebreakers so you can get to know me a little bit better. Okay, so I pulled up a list of best icebreaker questions from meetings according to museumhack.com, whatever that is. And we're just going to roll through them. So first question on here, what sport would you compete in if you were in the Olympics? That feels like a really hard question to answer. Is it like with my current capabilities, or am I like an Olympic level athlete at that point? If I could just do it and be awesome and win gold medal, I don't really care which sport. If it's just like I have to go in right now as is and hope for the best, probably something like curling, and I feel like I could maybe get up to speed on that. No idea. What's the worst job you ever had? Hands down, I've had a lot of really bad jobs, first off. But hands down, worst I've ever had was being a repo man. And the thing about the kind of repo man that I was, it wasn't like going and taking somebody's car or something like that. I was going to people's homes, getting them to let me inside their home, and then walking away with like their TV or their bed, stuff like that. So it was a very dangerous job and a just kind of soul-crushing job. Okay, next question. You can have anyone fictional as your imaginary friend. Who do you choose and why? The only fictional character I can think of that would kind of fit this mold would be Gandalf. No real reason why, but I imagine it would be good to have a super powerful wizard on your team who's your friend. Next one is, what would your superpower be and why? Invincibility would be really great. Invisibility would be really great. Yeah, I don't know if this is cheating or not, but if I could just say Superman, like just be Superman, that would probably be ideal. Be him for all of those abilities like flying, being super fast, being bulletproof, X-ray vision. Like he's got a pretty good setup. Okay, which band or artist, dead or alive, would play at your funeral? I don't care because I'll be dead. I won't be there. I wouldn't want to make it a terrible experience for my funeral guests. I would like to perform at my own funeral. So I think that that would be kind of cool. As a child, what did you want to be when you grew up? I never really saw myself working. The only things I could ever come up with were a Major League Baseball player or a professional boxer. I didn't make it in either one of those fields, so now I just have a regular job. What is your favorite tradition or holiday? For me, Christmas takes the cake on holidays. As far as traditions, I'm not really a particularly tradition-driven person, except, I guess, back to Christmas. I grew up opening presents on Christmas Eve, and Christmas Day just kind of felt like a bummer. I like that tradition. I have my kids open their presents on Christmas Eve too. That just feels better to me. What is your favorite breakfast food? That totally varies. Sometimes breakfast makes me feel like the idea of breakfast is the worst thing I've ever encountered. And sometimes I like a huge breakfast with pancakes and eggs and all the good stuff. Coffee or tea? I'm definitely a coffee person, but not in the snobby way. I can hardly tell the difference between like a very high-end bespoke boutique coffee and like a Keurig coffee. I like the flavor of coffee in general. Next question, teleportation or flying? I'm gonna say teleportation. I think flying would be really cool like the first few times you do it. And then just knowing who I am as a person, I think I would start to feel like, yeah, flying's kind of a lot of work. I would rather just blink and be there. So I'm gonna go teleportation. What is your favorite TV show? Cops, probably Cops. There's a lot of shows I like, but there's something about Cops. It's like a comfort food for me almost. Like I've been watching it since I was a little kid. I used to live in areas where you would like recognize it on Cops. I'm a big fan of Cops. What breed of dog would you be? That's a weird question. The dogs I like are gross. They tend to be really messy, have health problems and die young. So I probably wouldn't pick the dogs I like. I guess I would pick one of those like small, creepy ones that end up living to like 18, 19. If you had a time machine, would you go back in time or into the future? Probably back in time. There's a lot of money to be made if you go back in time with the knowledge you have today. Also, if you could bring like modern weapons to a time before they existed, then you basically get to just be king, so that would be pretty good. Do you think you could live without your smartphone or other technology item for 24 hours? Yes, I absolutely could. I didn't get a smartphone until I was in my 20s, so, you know, that was a pretty long time without a smartphone. I think I'd be fine without it for 24 hours. Also, I've broken my phone before and been without it for a couple of days, so no big deal. What is your favorite dessert? Choco tacos. I like those a lot. I know they were discontinued. I've heard rumors that they were coming back. Maybe they've even already come back. I have no idea. But I always liked those. Okay, next one. Are you a traveler or a homebody? I'm kind of both. I skew more toward homebody, and my travel is acceptable to me if I can bring a home with me. So I've had 2 camper vans in the past. I just got rid of my second one a couple months ago, and that's really kind of the only way that I like travel. I don't really like being in hotels. I used to work at a hotel. My first job was in one, and I know how disgusting they are. I would much rather just like have my own sheets and stuff like that with me and just know these are clean and normal and nothing disgusting has ever happened on these. What's one career you wish you could have? So I guess it's like sort of a dream job scenario. The only real job that I can think of that I would like to have would be like the general manager of the New York Yankees maybe. But I don't want to be in New York State, so that's hard. So maybe like if I could be general manager of the Yankees and my first order of business is to move them to Nashville, that's a pretty awesome gig. I would do that. Have you ever completed anything on your bucket list? I've never created a bucket list. I imagine if I had created one like 15 years ago, then the answer would probably be yes. But I don't know. I don't really have anything I can think of that I would want to put on there except for like become a billionaire or something, which I probably will not complete. Do you have a favorite plant? Saguaros. I think those are cool. If you're driving through the desert at night in an area that has a bunch of saguaros, they can be terrifying. It just looks like a bunch of like, I don't know, 30-foot tall demons walking around next to you. What did you have for breakfast this morning? This morning I had plain oatmeal with walnuts crushed up in it and cinnamon. Next question, what was the country you last visited outside of the United States? I'm pretty sure it was Mexico. I don't have a lot of options to choose from. I've never left North America, so I've been to Mexico, the United States, and Canada, so it's a 50-50 between Canada and Mexico. I'm pretty sure it was Mexico though. What's one thing we don't know about you? I think there's a lot of things that you probably don't know about me. I was stabbed in the eye in a fight when I was a young teenager with a kid named Jacques, of all things. It's really embarrassing to be a US citizen and have been in a fight where you got stabbed in the eye by someone named Jacques. What is your favorite meal to cook and why? It is probably fajitas because it's just really easy. I like them and I've been doing it for a really long time. My kids don't like it when I make them. Are you a morning person or a night person? This one's tough. I'm a little bit of both and it does not bode well for my overall health, I don't think. I stay up way too late and then I wake up really early for how late I've been staying up. So I sleep like probably 5 hours a night on average, sometimes less, sometimes a little more, but usually probably right in that sweet spot of about 5 hours. What's your favorite musical instrument and why? I like the sound of cello when it's played by someone really good, like a Yo-Yo Ma or something. And I like, it just feels so expressive. I feel like it's more expressive than just about any other instrument. Piano is right up there. As far as like favorite instrument that I play, I really like analog synthesizers, but I would probably say guitar because it's the easiest one for me to just like pick up and play in a passable kind of a way. Are you a cat person or a dog person? Definitely a dog person. I'm allergic to cats and I hate cats. The only way I would consider a cat is if I got some special permission to own like a lion or a tiger or something. What languages do you know how to speak? I speak English, okay. I'm really pathetic when it comes to Spanish, especially considering the fact that my Spanish-speaking grandpa lived with me for years as a kid. I can read it okay sometimes, but if you start trying to say something to me in Spanish, I have no idea what's going on. Popcorn or M&Ms? This one is tricky because there's a range for both. Generally speaking, I would say popcorn beats M&Ms, but unsalted popcorn is disgusting. So if it's like a plain popcorn, it's gonna lose. Peanut M&Ms, I would say, are better than any other popcorn I can think of, but regular M&Ms are not. So I would say overarchingly, popcorn wins. All right, this one is really stupid, I think, because of the suggestions they give you alongside the question. So it's, you can have an unlimited supply of one thing for the rest of your life. What is it? And they give these examples of sushi, Scotch tape. No, I wouldn't pick anything like that. If I had an unlimited supply of one thing, it would probably be money, gold, something along those lines. I'm just gonna go with the safe answer and say money. What's your best scar story? So I don't really have a ton of scars. I have one like on my forearm from when I was 12. I had to get like my tonsils out and then a bunch of weird stuff in my sinuses. I've got terrible sinuses. So before the surgery, they brought me in this room and they were like, we have to check and see how long it takes for your blood to coagulate. So the guy just cut my forearm and walked out. And then he just kept coming back every now and then. I was like, yeah, it's still going. And I'm just sitting there with, you know, a bleeding forearm waiting. So I've still got a tiny little, almost imperceptible scar from that. Are you a good dancer? No, I would say no. I don't dance at all. I don't have an urge to dance ever. Even when I'm like making beats, there's no feeling of wanting to dance. It just, it doesn't exist for me. I don't know what happened, but I have none of that whatsoever. So I'm gonna call it a day right there. That was a lot of questions, a lot of really stupid ones. Hopefully it helped in some way for you to get to know me better and understand who I am as a person. If you have any other questions, feel free to send them my way and I'm happy to answer them. Thank you.